This is a Microsoft Fabric notebook cell that just launched a full-on UI. Not only that, this UI even has a dark mode. And this is all powered by the new Semantic Link Labs update. My name's Ned. I'm a Microsoft MVP with a focus on Power BI. And today we're going to be talking about Semantic Link Labs. We're going to be talking about Fabric notebooks. We're going to be talking about Microsoft Power BI. And on top of that, we're going to be doing a little bit with AI. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, do me a favor, go on over, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe because, well, we're going to be playing with some cool tech today. And if that's something you enjoy, I'd love for you to join me. All right, with that, let's jump in and let's cover what is Semantic Link Labs. Well, Semantic Link Labs is an open source Python library designed for Microsoft Fabric notebooks. In particular, it allows you to automate things in Microsoft Fabric or Power BI. It is a Microsoft open source project. However, it has been primarily built by Michael, who you can see right here, and you should most definitely give a follow on LinkedIn because he posts updates about whenever Semantic Link Labs is updated, which, by the way, is all the time. And it's a great way to stay up to date with this whole world of Python automation. Now, Semantic Link Labs just had its 15th release, I believe, approximately 3 days ago, and there are some great new functions in here. There's a few Databricks automations. There's some additional functions that you can use via the tabular object model library, I believe, or submodule. I don't know. But there is this new fancy one called the Perspective Editor. Now, perspectives in Microsoft Power BI, in case you're asking, hey, what are perspectives? Are essentially a view on top of a semantic model. Think of them kind of like a subset of the semantic model that you have curated for the end user. So for example, you can use them for things like setting up, allowing users to personalize this visual in the Microsoft Power BI service. So for example, right here, see how I have all of the measures, including some UI measures in this personalize this visual section. Well, what I can go ahead and do is I can set up a custom perspective. Now, I previously had to do that via tabular editor or via a tool like or scripting language like Timtal, but I can also do it now using Semantic Link Labs and this new UI. Jumping then into Microsoft Fabric, let's take a look at how this new perspective editor works. So first things first, I'm going to run a pip command. Then I'm going to set a dataset and a workspace variable. And then finally, I am going to run a Semantic Link Labs, in particular, the perspective editor. So while this is turning on, let's see what we have. First of all, it looks like it's stuck installing some things, but hopefully any second now, there we go. We should have the perspective editor launching. Now, what I am really, really excited about is that you'll see that this cell will complete, and then we will have a full-on UI. Now, as you can see, I have one single perspective already loaded into this semantic model. I can create a new semantic model by clicking this little plus button and calling this a demo2, then hitting create. Then I can go ahead and I can add, for example, different tables or table columns or UIs directly into this perspective. So for example, if I select this value right here and then hit save, what it will do is it will actually load back to the UI. And so like there, for example, it said saved demo2, and then we should be able to access this perspective or at least validate that it's here by going back into our demo workspace, going over here to semantic models right here, then going right up here to open, and then going over in here to the model section, and then down in here to perspectives, where we should be able to see both of our perspectives existing. Now, this is great, but what really fascinated me was this concept and idea of a UI in a Microsoft Fabric notebook. And it sparked me to go off and build my own, which is exactly what I did. If I could find it over here, is I built a measure update widget. Now, this functions pretty much the same way, right? So we do a pip install, and then it has both a dataset and a workspace reference. Only I then build my widget not via a simple function call, but by just replicating it and calling it down below. Now, this is a neat little utility. As you can see, I can select a measure, I can select a few date dimensions, and I can go ahead and hit preview table. And what it'll go ahead and do is execute a DAX query. I can change the order of the results of that DAX query, right, by separating commas and changing these around, and hit preview table. And then I can also go over here and edit a given measure's definition slightly without altering it in the model right here, clicking use for preview, and then running with, for example, that altered value. And then once I got the measure the way I wanted it to, I could write back to the model, or I could click the revert button to reset it post all of my changes. Now, this is really fun. This is a simple utility. I'll post this on my GitHub. But what I want to talk about is how easy it was for me to ramp up this kind of UI. And that is because, well, we are living in the age of AI agents and vibe coding. Now, Semantic Link Labs, if you clone this repository down locally, will have a .github and a Claude section with some skills. You can then take these skills and you can build and iterate on them, which is what I've done. And pretty quickly, you can start to build on by yourself on top of Semantic Link Labs, producing, I wouldn't say fantastic quality code, but some really solid, super functional stuff. Now, I have had, or I'm working on kind of building out a little system that's not quite ready for prime time yet. When it is, I'll share it. But I took one look at the perspective and I asked the AI to look at how Semantic Link Labs was doing that and build a skill called create widget. And it ramped up that AI powered skill called create widget, which essentially has extracted the full CSS, JavaScript, Python architecture that was used in the perspective editor, and then now allows my AI agent to really quickly build up these UI apps. On top of that, then I also created a update agent skill right here, which simply reclones the repository down locally and then extracts all functions over here into custom instruction files right here that essentially list out every single function and what it does, and then also a helper function skill that contains all of kind of the hidden helper functions within Semantic Link Labs. Now, I'm still kind of wrapping all of this up, but creating it isn't that complex. You download the Semantic Link Labs repository, you say, hey, I want you to create a skill, and it creates a skill, right? I'm not out here writing this stuff. It's not incredibly complex. But the ease of ramping up kind of this UI and these little utilities in Microsoft Fabric notebooks is what has me really fascinated, especially when you put it on top of something so powerful like Semantic Link Labs. Now, what happens if you take and you spend a bunch of time on this, actually building out something functional instead of just vibe coding blindly like I did for this video demo? Well, you end up with something like this Power PBI Fixer, where we can see that Copilot did contribute, but is a fully functional web app that Alex has gone ahead and built out here. And I'll link to this GitHub project down below in the video description, as well as a video demo of it, because this starts to get really, really, really complex. But My point of this is we are now entering this kind of new stage where if you imagine a UI, you can build it. And I think that is really cool. And with that, you've reached the end of today's video. I hope you learned something, or if you didn't, at least thought one of the demos was pretty cool. If you're interested in any of my other videos, I think there should be one popping up. Feel free to give it a click. And if you just enjoyed this video in general, but don't have the time to watch another one, subscribe, because I'm publishing videos at least once a week. All right, with that, I'll talk to you later.